Hey guys, welcome to today's tutorial. We are so happy to have you joining us as always. We are going to be creating a unicorn painting and also showing you how to draw a dragon. So if you'd rather do a dragon painting, you are more than welcome to, and we'll know how too. So for our unicorn, you can choose to use our template that will be on our website. It's a free download. So you can use graphite paper on a canvas or painting paper and trace it. Otherwise, right now we're going to show you exactly how we draw it. So you'll want to use a pencil for this on your canvas or painting paper. I'm using a Sharpie just because this is what is going to be our template and it needs to be in black and white. And I feel that it makes it easier for you to see on camera. We are going to start with the head. So I want you to choose about midway through your paper, about the top third or fourth of it. Start creating a line that's curved. And then go diagonally down. And then a diagonal line down to the right. And then back up again, a little bit wider than the top. And we're going to do a curve. And why do we always emphasize using pencil?
Erase them.
Right, so if you don't like how it turned out, you can erase and start over on that spot. And don't beat yourself up over, not doing it perfectly the first time, because guess what? It took me a couple tries to even draw this sketch. All right, so after we get that curve around the jawline, we are going to draw the curve of the body. There you go.
I think that part looks better.
Yeah. And from the jawline, we're going to do sort of a curvy line for the front of the body. And it'll take practice, and that's okay. So if you do want to draw this without our template, you can choose to do it directly on your canvas the first time, or you can practice on a sheet of paper before you put it on your piece that you're going to be painting. Okay, so once we have the main shape of the head and the front of the body, we are going to draw the ears. So we'll start for the top one up here. And then leave space for the horn and go down across about 1.5 inches and start creating the other ear. And that'll be a little bit larger than the back one because it's in the foreground. And then we're gonna start the horn. So the horn is like a tall triangle, and you'll want to maybe sketch out a tall triangle at first, very, very lightly. And I started at the top point, which is pretty close to the top of the paper. You started a little bit lower and your unicorn's a little smaller, so about there is good, maybe a little bit lower. And we're gonna go down like this, almost a straight line. And we're gonna start drawing some curved lines following the curve of the horn. And unicorn horns kind of twist around. It's pretty tricky to draw. Okay, and then we're gonna start with the hair. We're gonna draw some curved lines. with some swirls at the end. And then draw another swirl there. Just get curly. Curly and swirly. This is where you really want to let your hand move freely so you can create some nice loose swirls. Very nice job. Looking good. Okay, now we're going to do this front curl. And you might want to move yours up a little bit because that's about where the eye is going to go. You can have it covering the eye a little bit, but you don't want it totally covering the eye, or it'll look like the unicorn has hair for an eye. There you go. All right. Now for the eye, we are going to make it curve down a little bit. So instead of having the eye sitting straight across the face because the face is turned down a little bit, we are going to have a spot here and here. So it's sort of diagonal. It's just a typical eye shape. And then we have an eyelid that curves across the eye and those pretty eyelashes. And then we're gonna take our eye, and you don't have to fill it in because you're gonna be painting it in anyway. We have a circle inside the eye and then a small dot for where white will go. For the mouth, we're gonna start toward the tip of the mouth and go up like this. We're gonna create kind of a little smile there. Nice job. And a curve in the cheek. And for the snout, just sort of like a 6, it almost looks like. Okay, once your unicorn is drawn, you can choose what you want to put in the background. If you'd like to follow our painting, we have sunshine, clouds, and rainbows in the background. So you can just very loosely draw some clouds. And just some guides for where your rainbow is going to go. We have ours in the lower left corner. We have enough for red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. And then for the sunshine, we're gonna go from the corn to the cloud and just have some rays penciled in there. And that's how you draw the unicorn. Next, we'll show you how to draw a dragon. Now, again, I'm using Sharpie for mine, but I would like you to use pencil on your painting paper or canvas. And you can just very lightly trace it on your canvas or painting paper. Don't push too hard, just in case you make a mistake, you can easily erase it. So for the dragon, you are going to start again about a quarter of the way from the top of the paper, and the head will start right here and a curved line and then go down. and then diagonally down, curve around. So very similar to the unicorn. And then curve the neck and body around right here. Then we're going to follow that line and curve the neck and body on the other side. And start adding okay, and then we have a horn that starts about here, and you can curve all the way back to that top corner of the paper. Then we're going to draw the ear here, and the eye sort of curves down. And remember, you're drawing it from a side view, so you're only drawing one eye, and then draw a little curve there. Dragon eyes usually have a shape like that. And then draw the snout and the mouth. Now you can decide if you want an angry dragon or a happy dragon. And then decide what you'd like to put in your background. So you could add in fire, you could add in a nice blue sky. It's totally up to you what you would like to add. Next, we're going to show you how to paint the dragon and how to paint the unicorn. Now that we have our dragon and our unicorn traced, we are going to choose what acrylic colors we would like to use to paint them in. Again, you can use painting paper, which usually comes in a sort of notebook or stack, or you can use canvas for this. And we have a few different types of paintbrushes, a smaller one and a couple larger ones, a cup of paint, and our paint choices. You can feel free to use acrylic paint, or you can use whatever you have on hand, if that's tempera paint or if you have watercolors, even if it just means coloring it in with markers or crayons. Alright, so for my painting, I'm going to get my brush a little bit wet and have some paper towel on hand as well. And fill in, I usually start with the background first, but not totally necessary. I'll start with my sun. I'm going to use the smaller brush to fill it in as I get toward the edge. So I know my blue sky is kind of going into my sun rays, but that's okay because with acrylic paints it's going to dry pretty quickly, and then I can layer the colors for the sun over the top of that. And again, if you keep your paintbrush a little damp, it can help your paint move a little smoother. There are different types of acrylic paints too. Ours is a pretty heavy volume acrylic paint. There are some that are pretty thin, like the kind that you buy at Walmart or some craft stores. Acrylic paint is pretty watery, so you shouldn't have to mix too much water into it.
Is it off?
And I'm going to start doing my clouds, and I know that the blue paint's wet, and I actually want it to be that way because I want a little bit of the blue to mix in with the clouds. I'm going to add some dimension to my clouds by dampening my brush and then taking a little bit of gray and doing that on the bottom while the white paint is still wet. And if it gets a little too dark, you can go back over it with some white paint to lighten it up. I like your pink dragon. So fun. Absolutely. You can feel free to add some wispy clouds in the background. My blue paint is dry now, so I'm going to keep going with my sunshine. And the thicker you put your paint on, the more it will cover what's in the background. To add some dimension to my sunshine, I'm adding a little bit of orange. It's a little too orange, so I'm going back and adding some more yellow. Going to add some orange to the sky as well. And I'll probably go back over the rays of sun with some yellow mixed with white to get rid of the blue color in the background. Okay, and I'm gonna have her body be white. And it might seem kind of silly to paint the body white when it's the color of my painting paper, but the reason I'm doing that is because after I put that white paint on, I'm going to go back over it and add in some gray as a shadow to give dimension to the body. And depending on what level you're at, depending on your age, feel free to, be as simple with colors or as complicated as you'd like. You can do shadows if you feel comfortable doing that, and highlights, or just stick to solid colors. So with a damp brush, I'm just going back in and going around where the hair is and the jawline to sort of create a shadow around the body. Get that gray paint off my brush and go back in and blend it some more. So the way you could do that with your pink dragon would be by taking gray, or you can use a darker pink or even a lighter pink to give it some dimension. For the cheek, I'm gonna water down some pink and paint a little bit of a blushed cheek right there. And that's a little too circular for me, so I'm gonna dry my brush off and blend it in. Add a little bit of white on top of that for like a highlight on the cheek. And then I think I'm going to do some pink hair, pink and purple. So I dampened my brush, and then I'm starting to put a pretty thick amount of paint on there. And take some purple. I don't usually paint one color at a time. I sort of mix them together. I'll fix those fine lines later. Go back over it with a thin brush along the edges. Can even go over it with some white while it's still wet, and it gives it a nice cool highlight. Like there's some light shining on it, see? Take a darker color like black or dark gray to add some darker areas for shadows. add a little bit of pink in the ear. And so far I've just been using my bigger brush. I'm gonna go back over to do the fine details with the smaller brush. All right, now for the rainbow. And again, feel free to do a different background and get creative with this. I blended the colors together rather than doing just, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple at each line. So it looked a little more natural. And after I've done my main painting, that's when I typically go around and fix the edges if I need to with a smaller brush. If you get any areas like that you accidentally painted before they were dry, just let it dry and then you can go back over it again.
This one's how to make a hat.
You can also use that small brush to do the eyes and nose and mouth, which I'll be doing in a dark brown color, just because I'm out of black, but you can feel free to use whatever color you'd like. I'm just adding in a little bit of yellow from the sun to make these clouds look a bit more realistic. I'm going to use my smallest brush, get it wet, and this is where I will start filling in my very fine details like the eyes, nose, and mouth. And here's the final product for both of our pieces of artwork. It was so much fun to create, and I hope you had fun too. We'll see you on Monday.